What's good, everybody? Ace of all trades here with the game Illuminaughty. What's going on? We are back for yet another Triple Threat Sports podcast. Appreciate you guys for coming through. As always, before we get into our latest sport news, we got to go ahead and introduce the co-host. First of all, let's go ahead and introduce fresh from season 8 of Fortnite, Siggy Gunn. Say what up.
What up? What up?
Also, Anthem's another pro Anthem streamer, UTX JG the Don. Say what up.
I ain't no pro streamer. You are. You the only one trying to go pro in Anthem.
Oh, my bad. I was just trying to look out for the team. Damn, that's crazy.
You know you care about yourself. Shut up.
I mean, I'm always going to care about myself, but I also care about my team. Anyways, geez, man, this guy JG just trying to mess up the chemistry, man. Anyways, appreciate you guys for coming through for yet another episode of Triple Threat. I know it's been a minute, but, you know, shit happens. But we back, so, yeah, let's go right into it. We're going to start it off with UFC 235, which will be happening here in Las Vegas on Saturday, March 2nd, starting at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So what are you thinking of the fight card so far, Siggy?
Which one is this fight card? I don't even know.
35.
235.
Who's on it?
Let me take a look. Go to JG first.
JG, what are your thoughts?
Okay, I am prepared. There you go, Siggy.
Get off that Fortnite, Siggy.
This is actually a pretty good card. You starting off with Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Moonhills. I'm actually not familiar with Pedro Moonhills, but Cody Garbrandt's a pretty good fight. I'm gonna root for him just because. Tisha Torres versus Wally Yang. I'm going to root for Tisha. I don't know who Wally Yang is. Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren. This one is an interesting one. Robbie Lawler.
I thought he was done.
I thought he was too after he got his ass knocked out. But yeah, he's still fighting. Ben Askren has kind of had him a little streak here, so I'm actually not sure about who's going to win that one. I won't put my money on Ben Askren just because I think Robbie Lawler is trash now.
Okay.
Tyron Woodley versus Kamaru Usman. I'm like vaguely familiar with Usman. Right now, he's currently like 14-1 versus Tyron Woodley, who's 19-3 and has defended his title at least 2 times. I think 3 times now at this point. I'm obviously gonna root for Tyron Woodley. Like, he's one of my favorite fighters now in the entire UFC, and he's a hometown kid, so I gotta root for him just because. But Kamaru, I feel like Usman, because a lot of people saying that Wonder Boy was going to be Tyron Woodley's biggest threat, and he fought that dude twice and lost both times. So I'm not trying to hear that mess anymore. But Tyron Woodley, I forgot the other dude's name, who apparently he's been ducking, but Kamaru ended up getting the nod this time. So we'll see what happens with this one. I will be extremely upset if Kamaru ends up knocking Tyron out, because that's something that you just don't see. But we'll see how this goes. I don't think it's going to be the same type of fight as him versus Wonder Boy, but we shall see. Tyron hasn't fought in a while, so hopefully he's ready for this one. And then the main event, John Jones versus Anthony Smith.
John Jones.
John Jones, fresh with the belt. We have not heard anything so far. So, again, I don't think it's going to be one of those situations where we just like last minute hear some bull.
No, we heard that it was clean. All of a sudden, all the micro ones are gone too.
Everything's out his system, so we don't know what happened. But he's back in Vegas.
One time though, by the way, it's just a one fight contract.
Whatever
right
this fight, whatever this one fight contract, he's back at least for this moment. So again, we will see what happens in this situation. I don't really know much about Anthony Smith. I'm not gonna lie about that one. So I'm going to root for John Jones. Pending any other bullshit happening. I think that John Jones is going to take it, but again, this is like his kind of like, I will say this is like his trial now, since he ended up beating Gustafsson again. Now he's going to defend the belt for the first time after obviously losing it and winning it back. So we'll see what happens with this one. But if he wins this one again, I feel like if DC wasn't saying that he was done, I would have liked to see that kind of spark up again. But we'll see what happens in that heavyweight division. But for the moment, he said he's done with light heavyweight, so I don't think we'll ever see that again. So maybe John Jones has finally got it together for good, and maybe he'll hold the belt until he decides to give it up.
We'll see. Did you see that John Jones's test came back atypical, so he's still cleared to fight, but
atypical?
No. So the way his test came back, apparently they came back positive, but they're still good for where he can fight. So 3 of his.
Wait. Are you talking about the micro one, or are you talking about the one after the
pre-drug
fight?
So no, the pre-fight drug tests were revealed by the Nevada State Commission, and it
we
showed.
knew that. Remember, we had that podcast about that one.
Yeah,
that was
so that's gonna still come back positive. So this.
I thought you were talking about something like that happened like yesterday, or it's gonna happen tomorrow.
The results came in. This is from today. This
is for this fight. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Yeah. This is
his last fight.
Never mind.
This is to.
So what is it this time? Is it the same fucking shit from?
So all right. So okay. So I'm.
Okay, let me look at this shit. No, I gotta read myself now. Oh,
it came back today. That's why I was
a big yikes already.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like, huh? Like I sent you a link right there too.
The mystery surrounding treatment of a banned substance in the UFC continues.
Oh my god. And this is Las Vegas.
And he's still cleared apparently. So apparently the doctor that provided the administered everything broke down in a statement for the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and I quote, further provided that there is no scientific or medical evidence that the athlete Jones would have an unfair advantage leading up to or for his contested scheduled March 2nd, 2019, read the email. So I guess Dr. Daniel, he's the president and laboratory director of the SMRTL, and he reviewed the above reports and determined that there showed no evidence, and I'm not even going to attempt to put in that type of steroid that was in the system as a DHCMT, and that had been re-administered, so none of that's there. So whatever was left in the system is still there, but apparently, bro, I don't understand it.
Makes no sense, because the post-fight results was that everything cleared up all of a sudden, but now all of a sudden it's back. I mean,
what is going on? This says that the tests were administered on the 14th and 15th of this month, right?
And they came back today.
40 and 20 picograms.
No, that's what shit called the picograms. He's back on the fucking picogram shit. I'm telling you, man, this guy is dirty. I mean, he can't. I mean, there's just no hiding at this point, because apparently it was cleared this last fight after the fight.
All right, bro. Just oh my lord.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like all he said was they pretty much said also. So Smith had a reaction to it, and he pretty much said he's not gonna let his test results impact his mindset for the matchup, and he said he's focused too much on John's failed test. And he said this won't serve as a distraction at all, and he's gonna see in a few more days.
Shit. It's a distraction.
And also it's been it's quoted that
the thing I don't get is how is it that this pictogram
they say that he's clean. They say that he is clean.
No, I know, but how is it though that he didn't get it last time?
Bro,
he had to go to California with that same shit, but now all of a sudden it's clean.
Man, he's still taking something.
Look, man, all I'm gonna say is bro, I'm no doctor. I wish I can be able to truly be able to explain this to y'all. I have no idea. I have no fucking idea.
So this is
I don't understand
it. Back in Vegas too. That's the worst thing. This is literally why they couldn't have the last
that's what I'm saying. So how come
maybe the one contract kind of protects them from that, knowing that they knew already. I guess I don't know, bro.
This is so stupid.
This is what I'm saying though, is that they had to switch to California because Las Vegas was one that said, hey, no, even with this 1 milliliter of fucking picto shit, whatever, you can't fight here. So they had to change it last minute, remember? But yet now all of a sudden, oh, never mind, it's okay. I mean,
they're pulling some stuff. Dana White is literally grasping for straws at this point. The whole UFC is grasping for straws with this man.
Bro,
it almost sounds also like Vegas is desperate. Like maybe like, oh no, I don't want you.
Nah. Don't put that shit on us. I think
Vegas can't be that desperate though.
Yeah, we make money here. Okay, we ain't desperate. There's something else is going on, bro. I just don't know what. I don't understand it.
Why not have the fight though before if it's the same thing? If it's not illegal, like they've been saying.
I don't understand. I don't understand it, bro. I wish I can be able to explain it to you, but I'm not a doctor. I am not Dana White. I don't know, bro. I fucking don't know.
Nah, bro. No matter how much they try to explain it,
something just don't make sense, bro. It don't, and that's why I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't. I don't, bro. I don't.
Anyways, well, forget what I said then, because it's already some bull. Like the
Yeah,
fact that this came up today.
It
yeah,
already
the fact that
started,
came
bro.
up today,
It already
yeah.
started today, bro. Oh my god, it already started.
Whatever, bro. Tyron Woodley, just go ahead and knock him out real quick, so I can have something to cheer for. Because now I can't cheer for this dude. I can't cheer for him, yo. Every single fight, yo,
Like we need to know
something.
what they need to actually. So they need to actually like explain further what's okay, what's not okay. Why is this in the system? Why was it a problem last time? And then maybe we'll be able to understand.
And it's only him. It's always only him.
That's the thing. It's only. I mean, I don't get it. If it's so legal and everybody is all happy door. How come he's the only guy that ever has this happen?
These freaking picograms, whatever.
Maybe
the hell that is, man.
maybe the remnants or whatever. Like it's something. But I get you. I trust me. I get you. Let's move on because we
I looked at the card. I do remember that it was John Jones fight now, but Lawler I think is gonna lose again. I don't know why he's fighting. And then what's his face? Right below them, I had the what's his name winning, Woodley, and I don't even know who Usman is honestly.
He's been cleared. They said he's been cleared. It's weird. And all right, bro. All right.
Whatever.
Bryce, speaking of Vegas, let's just go and talk about something more positive in a way. Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper. He struck a deal earlier today, of the time of recording, which is Thursday, the 22nd, last day of the month. The Phillies landed Harper for 13 years. Jesus, for $330 million. Now, me and Siggy were talking about this a little bit off camera, and $330 million sounds like a lot, but when you break it down per year, you didn't really make that much per year. We thought it was going to be like, what, Siggy, like 35 million per year?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the his performance, his age, his because he's 26, his fame, everything, you add it all together, I'm pretty sure Scott Boras would say that, hey, this is somebody that's worth at least $30 million a year, but they got him for a cheap price. I say cheap because it's actually a pretty good deal. $25 million a year, even though 330 is a lot whenever you put it like that. But 13 years, you're stretching that. It's $25 million a year, pretty much.
Yeah, so he's 26 now, so 13 years. So if everything goes according to plan and his body holds up, when he in the end of his contract, which is wild when you think about it, for 13 years, that's a long time. He'll be 39, bruh, when his contract is over. Like, that's...
I mean, man. I guess he's looking at it like that. That, hey, look, I know that these players don't get good contracts in their 30s, late 30s, so I want to be secure. So maybe he's banking more... Because if you go by what Manny Machado got, he got the 10-year, $300 million.
Yeah, exactly, which is something I would think that Harper would have gotten, or a little bit more, if he would have got like the 10-year or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But I guess the betting is that whenever Machado is 36 and his contract is up, is he going to get a 3-year, $30 million only, or something like that to match the 330 that this guy got? So maybe he's thinking more like, hey, I'm going to get $25 million a year on my twilight years, while you might get less.
Yeah,
so maybe I can see them saying that, like the agent, presenting to him like that, like, hey, look, you're not going to be guaranteed to make this money when you're, late 30s, so might as well take it now.
Regardless, that's still wild, because with Machado, the 10-year deal, because he's going, he's with the San Diego Padres, so it's interesting to see that, and then for 10 years for $300 million. Then you got Bryce Harper to the Phillies for $330 million. I mean, what do you think about it, Jay?
I mean, I wouldn't think that he would be going to the Phillies out of all the teams. I thought that was like kind of one of these teams that he would have been going to. A lot of people were thinking, like, including Siggy, like, thought he was going to probably go to the Yankees or maybe the Dodgers, one of those big markets. But he's not even going far. Like, they're literally going like around the corner, like in aspect, still in the same division too. So that's even more crazy. But the Phillies are scary now. Like, I think that the Phillies are like trying to go all in, because they got Gene Segura, they got McCutchen, you got Bryce, you got I think they got Real Muto too from the Marlins. So the Phillies stacked up. Yeah, the Phillies were stacked even before Bryce Harper ended up going over there. So I mean, it's very interesting that, again, like, if we, like you all mentioned, the big contracts that these major players have been getting, like, over the past like 5-10 years, and like, compared to them, I think a lot of people were thinking that, like, Bryce Harper might end up getting the biggest contract as far as like years and money. but I guess it didn't exactly happen. But I guess he's in it for the long haul. We'll see what happens during these 13 years, if anything crazy happens before everything is said and done. But
that's the thing about baseball contracts, is they're guaranteed, so he's getting that no matter what.
Yeah, he's gonna get that money. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So I mean, it's good for him. Like you said, like baseball players get money, so at the end of the day, it don't matter. But I think that the Phillies are gonna be like super scary this season if everybody's healthy. They play good, but because that's cool. But at least now MLB The Show. Now they brought that cover out real quick.
They were on it, bro. They were on it.
I didn't even notice or even peep that like they had just regular street clothes because of the fact that they knew that he wasn't going to be with the Nationals anymore. They didn't know what team he's going to go to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they got obviously they know the sport. I mean, Flock has been cool with the people with MLB The Show for the past couple of years or whatever like that, and they definitely seem like they know their stuff, so it makes sense. So and they prepare for that. Excuse me. Just getting over a cold, y'all, so excuse my voice. So
you know the funny thing about everything is I think one of the, not the first but the second series that they have is against the Nationals in DC.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, like it's crazy how the schedule ends up, and like when these major players end up getting traded. So
yeah,
and then like they got another team who they face, and then right after that, then they got the Nationals again, but they're at home this time.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on from that. So shout out to Bryce Harper, Vegas' own, you know what I'm saying, getting money. Regardless of that, he could be a potential workhorse because 13 years for $330 million sounds like a great amount, which it is. But when you look at it year by year, felt like he could have got more, but that's still a lot of money. So shout out to him. Let's go ahead and talk about Zion. That one beast guy that plays for University of Duke. That gets coached by the famous and one of the greatest college coaches ever, in my opinion, Coach K.
Coach K.
So UNC and Duke faced off, and this was a game that tickets were going on sale for $3,000. Fam. That is a college, not even playoffs, y'all, a regular season college basketball game, not even in the Final Four, anything like that. You had your big name people there. You had Spike Lee there. You had Barack Obama there. You had so many famous people there to watch pretty much these two titans of teams with rich of basketball history go against each other. And what happens 30 seconds in? Zion suffers a knee injury that takes him out for the rest of the game. Now, this has sparked a huge debate, which is, I don't know why, it's stupid, about players in college sitting out to wait to the draft. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that Zion will not go number one. He will be going number one. Whoever the team is to luckily to draft him. This guy Siggy. Zion will go number one. Now, the debate is that since he's already a guaranteed, even though I always feel like nothing is guaranteed, because as we see, nobody saw Zion getting hurt. Everybody expected Zion to beast out. I mean, the man ripped his shoe, which is, everybody's like, oh man, you see how strong it is? He ripped his shoe. I mean, I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's not that hard to rip out of a shoe if you're exerting a lot of force. It's not.
It's not?
No, it happens all the time in sports.
I haven't buzzed through a shoe before, so I don't know.
It happens all the time in sports, and especially when a lot of people don't want to talk about. Usually, when it comes to college athletes, you switch out your shoes every week. Especially when it comes to Division I schools, and you have a sponsorship and everything along those lines, you have your typical shoes that you wear during practice, but you also get a plethora of different shoes during the season. Now, you have the ability to be able to turn those shoes in to get new shoes. Zion didn't.
Isn't his shoes? He's been getting a lot because they're trying to get him signed up for what he does go to the NBA.
But that's the thing though. We're still using the same shoes he's been using for a while, so they were worn, and which is why I made the statement about it's easy to rip out of worn shoes.
No, okay.
Most players, and they talk about this in the NBA too, they replace their shoes every week. You think them shoes just stay clean like that? No.
Well, no, yeah, obviously not.
Those are usually shoes that they probably work out in the shoes to get them loose and everything like that. So they're not stiff, but they're typically new shoes. So he rips all of the shoes and everything like that. CNN reports that Zion, because of Zion ripping out of Nike shoes, Zion dropped the stock of Nike, even though it only went down 1%. Shut up, CNN. So what are your guys' thoughts about should a player stop playing, abandon his team, and just wait to the draft? JG, I'll go with you first.
I mean, it's Duke, because Duke always has a shot pretty much every single year to make the Final Four. So it's always some bracket that has them in there. It's really, really hard to gauge this, because at one point in the spectrum, you may really, really, really want a championship with your college team, but on the other end of the spectrum, you know your worth. So Zion already knew, probably even before the season even started, that he was going to be number one. Everybody was telling him to be that. He decided to go to Duke, and he was just like going crazy. So at the end of the day, he knew that he was going to be one and done. Everybody knew that he was going to be one and done. So when it comes to that, and then you suffer an injury, especially in the fashion that he suffered it, then yeah, I think everything, whatever your agents are saying, what's best for you, what your parents are saying, I think that everything will lead to you just sitting the rest of the season out and just letting Duke, be whatever they're going to be. But I don't know. I guess it just depends on like what your own personal values are at the end of the day, because it didn't happen at the beginning of the season. It happened, towards the end of the season. We're already about to be in March Madness, in less than a month now. So, it's just really hard. It's hard for me to gauge. I can see both ends, but I think at the end of the day, I think that like you should worry about your stock in the NBA if you know for sure that you're going to be one and done. So I don't think that it's a bad thing if he did decide to sit out the rest of the season.
Nah, bro, that's wild. I can't condone that shit. I can't, because you're abandoning your team.
Man, forget that, bro. College ain't paying you right now. Ain't this a whole debate about the NCAA? They don't care.
Well, I completely. You're right. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, though, he went there. He made a commitment to go there, regardless if he knows he's leaving after this year. He made a commitment to play for the university. But this is just in general. You make that commitment to play there and everything along those lines. And it's like, I give you another thing. Sorry to cut you off. I give you another example. Okay, say if Zion went to a D2 school or an HBCU, right? I would respect him more if he was like, yeah, I made a commitment to play for this school. He went to Duke. Duke always gets high level players every single year because they're such a good basketball school, right? It doesn't matter at the end of the day whether Duke goes 1-13 at the beginning of the season or 13. It doesn't matter. If you still play how you're going to play, I think that you're still going to end up coming out and getting the big contract anyways in the NBA. If you're touted that way and you're not injured, I think you're still going to end up going there. So at the end of the day, I don't think that it matters. I don't think that you should have that sworn loyalty to a college if you're going to be one and done. I don't think that it matters to me. That is me personally. What about you, Siggy?
One of the underrated things about the Duke story specifically is that they actually paid for his insurance. So he has draft protection if he got hurt.
Yeah.
So like if he falls below 8th seed or something like that, then he's covered with like an $8 million policy or something like that. I forgot what it was. So which is pretty cool. Which is pretty good for a school to do that. I mean,
nowadays they haven't really do that. They don't. Most schools don't do that shit.
Yeah,
you got to be very lucky to do that.
Yeah,
I haven't heard about that. So I haven't heard that happen to anybody.
Yeah, I gotta give Duke props for that, and I think maybe that's the future of how, in the meantime, while everybody's arguing about the pay and stuff like that, that's something schools should do with however you rank them, whatever you think they are, top 100 or whoever list it is, ESPN's whatever. Maybe that should be the way that those players get protection, with the draft, by having these insurances paid by the school themselves instead of the liability being put solely on the athlete or their family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably in most cases probably athletes do it themselves, and for Duke to do it, I think is something that's not talked about. I think that's actually the bread and butter of this whole thing. That could be a way to make it to where in the meantime, not saying that I'm not somebody that agrees that the money's going to solve everything in college. I actually think it would make things worse. But if they do something like this, I think that's something everybody can get behind for them in the meantime.
I mean, you saw Louisville.
Because it's not just football. You know, if we were talking about our basketball, it's football, it's baseball, there's a whole bunch of things.
It's going to be just like, trust me. There's a dictatorship, especially depending on, because it goes by each university. So whatever sport is making the university the majority of the money, that's where the money's going to get allocated to. Let's just be real. Syracuse,
exactly.
Perfect example.
If everybody's already mad about Alabama always, and it's only going to be Alabama going forward. You might as well not even have a fucking college football playoff. You might as well just say
Alabama wins.
And that's clearly going to be the negative to that situation if players do get paid. Yeah. And we talked about that too. Like, obviously there are going to be schools that they're going to get way more money than other schools. So how are you going to properly balance that out?
You can't. And that's the thing. They have to find some way, but it's hard. Trust me.
You already can't. That's why, again, I feel like this whole NCAA sports situation is just out of whack. Like, there's I don't care what it is. There's going to be no way that you're going to compare a D2 school or pretty much any other school to a school like Bama.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Like Duke. Like,
if you're in a D2, if you're D3, if you're JUCO, I'm sorry, it's a wrap for y'all. It is, because it's already a problem within the D1 schools. Like, let's just keep it real. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but D2 and D3, HBCUs, JUCOs, they don't get TV time like that, really.
Yeah, I was telling you those Cinderella teams that everybody's used to, like, you know, Butler and all that in the the tournament, they're gonna be gone because they're not gonna have the money to pay some players now. The prestigiousness of them was that they're the Cinderella team that can go far, so that's what they've been banking on. Hey, we can get you into the the tournament. You don't have to go here and be a bench player. You can be a starter for us and still make it and still get the coverage in the playoffs. But now they won't be having that if it's paid. You know what I mean?
Right. Nah, I feel you, but I mean, it brings up an interesting debate, so I'm curious to see where it goes. One of the greatest basketball players of all time told him that he made a commitment, and if he's gonna make that commitment, he needs to stick with Duke and be there for him. And of course, I'm quoting one of the all-time greats, Kobe Bryant. Even though some of y'all are petty on Twitter, and y'all said, "Oh, Kobe talking about commitment," and then they tweeted out the picture of him and then those two chicks from that scandal with him and his wife and everything like that. But we're not gonna talk about that. Y'all
wait a minute, they actually have pics of that girl now?
No, it was two chicks or something like that. It was like an old picture.
I thought they were talking about that Colorado girl. I was like,
nah.
Man, what Kobe know about college?
Right, it wasn't about college. It was about commitment.
I know, but that's another thing. But what he know about college?
Are you mad? Hey, speaking of college, you see they dropped the age to enter the NBA draft from 19 to 18 now.
And once again, this debate got brought up because of Zion. Like, literally right after that, this is when they proposed. Yes, exactly. So once again, we're going back in time and reverting to how they were before.
It's just gonna go back. I mean, it really is. That's the thing. So, yep, he's 18 now. And speaking of sports and everything like that, kind of changing gears for a moment, let's go ahead and talk about that pimp.
We need to talk about the age thing. Do you think that's gonna make it to where players like Zion and all that are gonna get their fair share in regards to their draft picks and stuff like that? I mean, Zion was gonna be a #1 pick, but guys like college and all them, they kind of ruined some of these players because there's a lot of promise and that they just don't pan out.
Well, that's what I said. And this is when the G League is gonna come in full effect, I believe, and then also with stuff within NBA and like in NCAA. Like a lot of people got to realize that college truly does mold an athlete when it comes to getting them ready for their professional career in another sport. I mean, it is what it is. A lot of sports don't necessarily have that G League, or it doesn't have the minor leagues, or it doesn't have something like the CFL or something like that. So when they do have something along those lines, it's going to play a role. I think so. I mean, you got your good examples of players that went straight out of high school to do amazing things like Kobe Bryant, but then you, like you said about Bynum, doesn't always end up great for other people. And that's the truth. So it comes, especially basketball specifically, the G League is going to have a huge role in this. I guarantee you. I think you're going to see way more high school players in the G League getting them ready for the NBA because of this change too.
I think that's what Adam Silver is banking on.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're banking on.
Because you're like, yeah, if you don't want to go to college, if you never even cared about that, if you just want to go to college just so you can eventually go to the NBA, because it's one and done thing. I mean, it's still like when they implemented that, it was still going to be a situation where like these players don't even care. Like these programs that would like to have these players for more than 1 year, it won't matter because that they're going to be one and done anyway. So I just feel like at the end of the day, it's a waste of time. I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that you do get is a hype.
But that's the thing that you get. I mean, how many stars are in the G League right now that off the top of your head?
I know a few.
Go ahead, Mr. G League broadcaster.
Anthony Bennett's still there.
I mean, but all right, how many 19-year-olds, 18-year-old G League players are 19, 20?
No, it's a lot of them that are like at least 20 and above. Well, like 25 and above.
See, I mean, they've been. I mean, they're stars because they've been in the G League for like 2-3 years, probably doing the same.
Either
shit,
that, or they got brought down from the practice squad, and then if they play good, then they'll get brought back up, or if there's some injuries, they'll get brought up.
And I guess here's another thing too. We cover the G League now on Twitch and stuff like that. Do you, whenever you see somebody score 40, 50 points, do you ever see that on ESPN?
No.
Exactly. So I mean, it's like, how are you going to get that position up in the G League if they're not really covering it like every other sport? Like,
yeah, I understand. Sports. I understand that, but things could change, right? Like, imagine if a number one high school prospect went straight to the G League. What if Zion went straight to the G League? Are you telling me you wouldn't want to watch him? You wouldn't want to be at least somewhat interested in G League games?
I mean, I don't know.
Saying, it's hard to say right now.
Bryce Harper went to the minor leagues for a little bit, and I never cared about him in there until he went to the major leagues.
Ah, come on, man. That ain't fair. That's already established system. We're talking about just because I mean they already have tiers too. I get what you're saying, but I don't know. But
it's kind of like, I mean, nobody wants to see the college level until they're in the majors. I mean, yeah, whenever you're watching it, yeah, and you're a fan of the college sports, you're like, okay, these are the players that are going to be big in the in pros. Whenever you're looking at like a minor league system, I don't think anybody really watches that stuff like that. Even if Zion went to the G League, I don't think that's going to be a must-see TV or must-see on Twitch all of a sudden. If Zion was there,
how many people would it take then? Like, as far as like the top 100 high school prospects, how many people do you think it would take realistically if they just went straight to the G League just to get paid for at least a year and then go up to the draft? How many people?
Man, none.
5, 10.
If they're that good, they're going to be on the team already, the NBA team. That's not, I mean,
well, no, because they feel like they see some potential for somebody. They may want them to either go to college, and that's why I said the NCAA is still going to play a role.
Zion went straight to the NBA. I'm like, Kobe went straight to the NBA. I'm just saying, you don't ever see a top number one draft pick, a team say, you know what, we want you to develop for another year. Nobody ever says that.
Well, we're talking okay. Well, let's talk about the hypothetical, because once again, we already talked about that it's most likely going to go back to how it was before. They can go straight out of high school. But if the rules say it's still today, the rules were still in place that you got to at least play 1 year in college. You don't think that any of those players, that they decided to forego and go with the new G League system that's going on right now with the contract and the money, get paid for all of that, you don't think that any of them will be at least a little bit interested?
I mean, I it's hard to say. My personal opinion, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I still don't, because I'm using. I would love to use the Zion case because I don't see if they let Zion be drafted right away, he's going to start or he's going to be on the team right now on the pro team.
No, you're right.
He wasn't going to be touching the floor of a G League team.
You're right though. And in that case, that's why I said I think it's just very, very hard to gauge. But I still firmly believe, because I do 100% agree with your point, Siggy. But I do believe if Zion said, I'm not going to Duke, if he was like one of the premier people, if he was the poster child for this new G League initiative, I think that people would be at least somewhat willing to be interested in watching a G League game.
Now, maybe if Adam Silver said, "Hey, look, you're still going to be 19 to be in the NBA, but 18 to be in the G League," then that might be a different situation, because then Zion's forced to play there for a year still. Then you have to weigh your option at that point. Do you go to G League, or do you get the college hype? Because I'd rather be the starter of a Duke team, knowing they're going to get the national attention of ESPN, than a team that's not going to get the same attention as Duke.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I'm gonna just be real with you. When you're good and everything like that, you're gonna want to go to a bigger market. And business wise, you're better off going directly to college instead of going to the G League, regardless of the money you potentially make.
Yeah, but
until that changes, the narrative has to
change.
change first. But until then, college is still gonna be the thing. I'm just gonna be real with you.
Because maybe they could, I mean, obviously the NBA has to push more on this G League stuff if they truly wanted to be taken as something serious. The Twitch thing, again, that's cool, but it's still not getting enough eyes on it as what they need to. Like you mentioned, ESPN does need to cover it more. The only other time that I've seen ESPN covering G League stuff is when they had their championship. Other than that, I don't see any G League coverage at all.
Yeah, it really isn't.
So.
And maybe it's not fair for me to base this kind of scenario because I'm using right now, but I mean, I like I said, if they're really that talented and that good, I don't even think he'll hit the floor for a G League team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
Hey man,
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, we'll see. And moving forward, let's go and backtrack a little bit. We got to talk about the NFL, and then so before we talk about the pimp himself, aka Robert Kraft, Jason Witten is leaving the sports booth to go back to the goddamn Cowboys. What the hell is going on? What is he doing? Is Romo next? JG, what do you think, bro?
I joked and said that Robo probably go suit up again, but like, yo, let me go and get this spot back, Dak. I don't know, man. I really don't know how to really feel about the situation. I mean, I personally thought that Jason Witten was a pretty good commentator. Obviously, he's not as good as Romo in my opinion now, because I think that Romo is like really in his mode now. Like he sees everything, he calls it a lot of plays before they happen. A lot of people didn't like Romo at first, but I think he grew in a lot of people. Like he's really knowledgeable on what's going on the field and what he sees. And I think that Jason Witten was slowly but surely getting there. Now, obviously, he threw him like in something really serious, having him be in on Monday night. But I still thought that he was pretty decent. But I guess maybe seeing the Cowboys suffer like that. Now they didn't have a terrible season, but I guess maybe seeing like their tight end situation specifically, Jason Witten was probably like, oh no, like I gotta come help y'all or something.
Bro,
like,
Jerry Jones was in that man's ear, bro. That's what that was. Oh hell yeah, he was in his ear. Absolutely.
Yeah, probably telling him to come back because their tight end situation sucked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was like, yo, like come on, man, like come back, I'll offer you this much, man. Come through and everything like that. I'll put a little something in play.
How much you got?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's out yet.
Nah, they didn't mention that stuff. I just think that he just made the announcement. But
he got some money. He got some money, bro. He got some money.
It has to be something, yeah.
He left announcer money and not getting hit to come back out of retirement. And wasn't his whole thing too was about protecting his body, bro? He
like
got
how
money.
Old is Jason Witten now?
He really isn't that old though, right? He's 36. What is he?
Let me look him up real quick.
Not that old, bro. He got money. He's
30. Yeah, he's 36.
Bro, he got money. He got money. It had to be some decent amount of money. This man was talking about him not getting hurt again, about his back, about his neck, about his head.
Okay, Antonio Gates is 38.
So he has a good 2 years of him left. Because I'm basing it off of Gates.
Man, I don't know though. I think he's gonna be another Antonio Gates. Like he's just gonna be some old ass tight ends out there. Like not really.
Yo, watch your mouth.
Come on, man. Antonio Gates really ain't making no impact on the field no more. Like,
bro, he needed look. No. When Antonio Gates needed to get a pass, when Phillip Rivers needed somebody to hit on a contact route, on a route or anything like that, Antonio Gates was always there, bro.
He
never fails, bro. He was a role player.
So much more.
He was a role player, bro.
I understand that, but he wouldn't even have touched the field if Hunter Henry wasn't injured.
That's true.
Okay, all right, well, man, we just saying that. I'm not, Antonio Gates will go down as a legend. That's not my point. My point is they are old, so I do not think that Jason Witten will have an impact coming back to the Cowboys.
I think he will. He's a threat, bro. Regardless, he's a threat.
Okay.
He's a threat.
I think he could. I mean, just basing off of what the other guys did. Well, what's his name? Schwarzer? I don't even know the guy's name.
I mean, anything could be better than that, Siggy.
Yeah, exactly.
They do nothing.
That's what I'm saying. They did get if it was Witten and they're throwing to him, I think he could actually get touchdowns and stuff like that. He might not be getting the 100 catches a season anymore, but I think he's somebody you can rely on for 340 and a touchdown every now and then.
Oh, you just reminded me, Siggy. I know why he's coming back. because he got mad that Zach Ertz beat his record.
He's
trying to get it back. Conspiracy. He got mad.
Oh man, conspiracy theories with UTXJG that got gone.
Zach Ertz shredded his record last season, and he had to commentate on some of them games. He like, oh no. Like, nope, I gotta get this back.
He got the insight too. He can tell everybody, hey, I know all these teams. I was studying them. I know all their weaknesses.
yeah. Now he got some knowledge. Yeah, that's true. Because that's what Gruden said that he got after being in the booth for like 10 years. But we seen how that ended up.
Right. That's wild. But let's go ahead and talk about it, man. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft has been charged with 2 misdemeanor offenses of solicitation of prostitution, and he entered a plea on Thursday. He went through it with his attorney, and he requested a bench trial. Now, in Florida law, a criminal defendant can elect to waive his or her Sixth Amendment right by trial, just as long as the prosecutor and the judge agrees. So it looks like this may never go to jury. But even with that being said, this man was out here tricking, bruh. He was out here tricking. He ended up going to a little massage parlor, got him a nice little happy ending. But apparently, the place that he got this at, the women were being held against their will. Plus, there was a sting operation, and he, amongst many other big name people. So apparently, this is a spot to go in Florida, mind you, Florida. Of all places. With that being said, Siggy, man, what you thinking, bro?
They said they have tape of it too. So he's saying not guilty, that he's innocent, but I don't know what he's innocent of. What is it with everybody that gets busted lately, and they still like doubling down and tripling down their innocence? It's like it's indefensible at this point. Well, you were there. They have video of you there.
Hey, man, I mean, what it is. Privilege and money, bro. He's most likely gonna get off, and he's just gonna have to pay a fee. Let's be real. This is what's gonna happen. They're not even talking like that anymore about it. Just think about this.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a misdemeanor though, so it's not a big deal. He's single, he's a widow or whatever. So, in his case, it's like the perfect person for that to happen, where it's not totally embarrassing. I remember when they said that Adam Schefter said it was a bigger name, but I guess that didn't pan out. But if it was somebody bigger, like if everybody started talking about Tiger Woods, everybody started saying it might be Trump, everybody was saying it was Obama, for the bigger name, but it never did come out. Because it's Kraft, it's a big name because it's him, he's a billionaire, the owner of the Patriots. But as far as his situation goes, he was somebody that had nothing but girlfriends. Like, you could tell these girls were like Hooter girls and stuff like that. So he didn't care. And you know what I mean? It's somebody that it didn't embarrass him. It's not going to be something that's like a big dent to his image or anything like that. And in fact, I think now everybody probably admires him more.
What do you think, JG?
It was funny as hell. It's honestly just something to laugh at. I mean, you just got another Super Bowl win. You go down to Florida, Jupiter, Florida at that. It wasn't Miami. It wasn't Orlando. It wasn't even Tampa. It was Jupiter, Florida. That's what a freaking Cardinals plays.
A hole in the wall place too.
Yeah, a hole in the wall place. What were y'all old asses doing at this damn parlor?
They knew about it. They knew about it.
It must have been popping, bro. It must have been popping for all of your needs. This man said, all right, I'm gonna go down to Jupiter, Florida. I'm not trying to be in Boston during the winter. I'm gonna come down here. This is my spot. All my homies are down here. We gonna have ourselves a good time. Give me a happy ending. I'm still partying. I'm old as shit. I got all this money and did not care. He probably didn't have a care in the world.
Bruh,
and
but
then
check.
all of a sudden you end up on the.
Did you hear that he did it like right before the championship game? He went down there for like a quick.
That's
Bruh,
wild.
oh
You had to fly
Lord.
down there for that. That's wild,
This
bro.
man, Robert Kraft, been hanging with Meek Mill. He got a dream chaser chain or
It's a champion chain for the commemorate the album.
Championship chain. Oh my god! Like this dude Robert Kraft was probably having the year of his life, bruh. Like just pop it off, he win another Super Bowl. So like I said, like this man was just trying to party.
Check this.
I'm not saying it was a good thing, because it's certainly not a good thing, especially if the women were being held against their will, because that's just super messed up.
Well, it looks like some of the women were, the woman in particular that they're talking about with Kraft, apparently, which it has to be in detailed. It's just a person that works there.
Nah, well, if she did what she did anyway. So
well, check this out though. The reason why he's avoiding having a potential jury is for the fact that the judicial district contains many Miami Dolphin fans, and the Dolphins and Patriots have had a long been rival in the AFC East, and Kraft might want to avoid the jury pool of citizens who may be inclined to dislike him.
That is
I mean,
what it is.
I'm gonna be real with you. That's smart, but damn, bro, that's
great.
That is
true.
That's great. Yeah, they would have been like, "Yo, lock his ass up."
Yeah.
Immediately,
Like all these years torturing us in the AFC East, man. Hell no.
Oh my god. You know what? That's exactly why he didn't go down to Miami. He's smart. Yep. He didn't go down to Miami. Bro, this story is freaking hilarious, bro. It would have had to have been him, bro.
Hey, bro. Loopholes, man. Loopholes.
Yeah, but he gonna get a slap on the wrist. Like,
yeah, that's all it is. He only get a slap on the wrist. He gonna pay some fines or whatever like that, and then he's gonna get some more respect in the hood, I guess. And,
yeah, shout out to Robert Kraft, because yeah, he like the neighborhood hero now.
Even though he's a Trump supporter, but people keep forgetting about that. But yeah, anyways.
Nope. He chill with Meek Mill. Now they best friends, so
yeah.
That's what matters.
Anyways, moving forward, let's just, and since we're talking about the NFL, let's go ahead and move forward with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. Where are they going, y'all? What are your thoughts? I've seen the Browns, I've seen the Patriots, I've seen a few places. What do you guys think? Siggy, I'll go with you first. Don't say the Jets, because it's not going to be the Jets. And
but it is.
The Jets blew their chance, I think, with Le'Veon Bell, because they came out and said something like they think he's overweight. I don't know why they even said anything.
Oh no,
that's stupid, because you can just lose the pounds. That's not a big of a deal.
That's death sentence right there. There's no way he's gonna sign with them now, because he's gonna be like, these motherfuckers are trying to either get me lowballed, in the free agency or whatever. It's not a good look.
So they can get him afterwards. Like that's fucked up.
The agent says something. He didn't say anything, but the agent did. He just said something like, "Oh, teams should not be concerned about that." Yada yada yada. He's playing diplomatic because he knows that the Jets have the most money, and that's one thing. I think the Jets know that too. They have the most money to offer anybody in free agency. But I do think that a team like the Jets can get them. Whether or not they will is a different story. I do know that they want a receiver more, and I really do think that they're willing to give up their third pick for Antonio Brown. Whether or not the Steelers would take that, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be jumping at the bit. But that's a pretty significant offer, third overall. So we'll see if they do that. But I would not mind having Antonio Brown as a Jet.
What about you, JG? What you think?
As far as Le'Veon's situation, I really don't know what team that he would be like a great fit for. Seems that people saying the Packers, but I don't know if the Packers want to deal with him. I think that's highly unlikely. But I mean, I've seen the Packers, do some crazy things as far as like some people I never thought would have played for the Packers end up playing there. So I really don't know about Le'Veon. Le'Veon's a more sticky situation. As far as Antonio Brown goes, the 49ers have pretty much been the one team in the news for the longest. Even before like the whole situation came about, that they say they're going to mutually part ways. So I would really hope that he doesn't go to the 49ers, because I don't want him in my division. I'm not trying to deal with that, especially if Jimmy G comes back, because I feel like that's probably going to be scary. But I don't know. I really don't know or care. I don't really care, to be honest, besides, again, like the 49ers situation, because at the end of the day, I want to know how they are going to fare with another dynamic. Specifically Antonio Brown. Le'Veon, I don't feel like he's really a toxic player in the locker room, but Antonio Brown, with his antics, who knows if anybody really wants to deal with that. Obviously, he's, definitely been a top 3 wide receiver over the past few years, in my opinion. But do you really want to deal with the same situation that you're dealing with now? Having problems with Big Ben because he doesn't give you the ball, maybe being a little upset at Juju, sometimes getting more touches than you. It's just a lot of things that I'm just like why would you even want that in your locker room? Yeah, it's too many red flags on that. So are you willing to deal with somebody being a diva just so you can, possibly have that premier player on your squad? I don't really know.
I mean, we'll see. I'll be interested to see where those two go specifically.
What team? All right, so you said the 49ers. What team can afford Bell? Like everybody said that the reason why
teams with the worst record, bro. That's really what it is.
But what I'm saying is though is that he gave up 25, 27, whatever million it was, guaranteed for the whole year to sit out. What team is going to pay him that kind of salary now after that? Do you think? Because it has to be worth it in the end. He had to have had this plan that, hey, I'm going to get paid no matter what, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Like,
right,
I don't like.
It's hard.
Like,
I don't know.
I mean, the only teams that can really afford him is teams like the Browns, Jets. The ones that have the money with the salary cap and all that stuff. But they really don't need him. You know what I mean? It's not like they need him.
Yeah, the Browns got Nick Chubb, and like I think they're okay with their rookie now. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't even know. Like it's the difference between like teams that can afford him and teams that actually need him. Like obviously Le'Veon Bell, like when he was in his prime, like he was like a top 5 running back, no doubt. And again, it's the same situation. Like it's just crazy that we're at this point where the Steelers legit do not need any of them. They like it's wild to be like
it really is though.
They legit don't need them anymore. But you're talking about top 3 and top 5 players at their respective position at any point in time. So it's very, very strange. Like I don't think I've seen a situation like this in a while, with one team dealing with 2 players like this. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting indeed. What I think more in Le'Veon Bell's situation, not really so much AB, but Le'Veon's. That's a good ass question. Who the hell would really want to pay for that?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. Maybe, and that might be why the agent didn't like really hammer the Jets, because they know, that's like the money. You don't bite the hand that might feed you, because they're really the only team that can afford to give him the money that he wants. So I don't know if I want to pay for that, that much for him, because I mean, we already saw what he can do, which is sit out a whole season if he's mad at you and not care.
Yeah. So what you think, Ace? What teams you
I mean, I kind of see him at the 49ers. I'm gonna be real with you. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
AB or Le'Veon?
I can see AB. I can't see Le'Veon going to the 49ers. I mean, hey, I ain't gonna be mad if one of them want to go over to the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? Get another weapon.
No, bro.
But it ain't gonna happen. Or I mean, it's definitely. It's been talks that apparently the Raiders haven't reached out to neither one of them, but I highly doubt that. I feel like they have, but let's be real. Who wants to go to
the Raiders? Reaching out to them? I don't know. I still think they're gonna be tank mode still.
Yeah, the Raiders are gonna see what.
So you're gonna see they're gonna do the biggest FU to Oakland by playing in California again for one more year, and then saying, "All right, we out to Vegas."
Yeah, I think there's an incentive to lose right now.
I mean,
and to hoard their money too.
We gonna see it. The NFL draft is the combine's going on right now, so we gonna see, y'all. We gonna see what the Raiders do. But it'd be interesting to see where Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown go. I'm very, very curious about that. But moving on, let's talk about the NBA. So we've missed a lot from the NBA, from trades and then the NBA All-Star. But we'll just go ahead and talk about the little stories first, and then we'll talk about the trades and then NBA. Luke Walton. It's been a topic of discussion for a while now, and I like Luke Walton as a player. I thought he was dope and everything like that. And I think I like him overall as a person, but I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows what he's doing when it comes to coaching, especially when you're being in. You have to factor in LeBron James is here. I think he's intimidated by LeBron James. He's gonna be real.
I think that's unfair to him, because he had the squad of the Golden State, and he took him to that record, etc. When Steve Kerr was out for personal reasons. Yeah. But to say that, that he's in the coach because of LeBron, I think it's more LeBron is almost uncoachable, because every single coach. Yeah, well, I agree. We talked about the same thing.
He gets fired.
Like Spoelstra was gonna get fired. Who else? I mean, you name
Tyronn
Lue got fired.
Got fired.
And they were friends.
The dude for the Knicks that want to be the Knicks coach too. I forgot his name already. The one for the Cleveland Browns. Mike Brown, is that it? Something like that?
Yeah, Mike Brown.
Yeah, he left. He got fired. And, it's...
It's
I
a
mean,
big
he's
yikes,
almost-
man.
LeBron's track
an
record is
uncoachable.
ridiculous, bro. He might be uncoachable. He really might be. I mean, let's be real. He caused a whole bunch of issues in the locker room, and I said this from the beginning because I know some of you fake ass Laker fans were just like, "Yeah, bring LeBron on," da 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 da. But y'all didn't want to talk about how toxic LeBron can be, regardless that he is the greatest player of all time in this era. Like, let's be real. He's a toxic player. He causes issues in the locker room. I think he's a great athlete, and I think he does great things on and off the court. But he also causes issues in the locker room, and there's a split. There's a split with the young core and with the veterans. And then even some of the veterans he threw on the bus. Trade them all for Anthony Davis, and that turned out terribly. The coach for the Pelicans fired, gone, get out of there. I blame LeBron. So what do you think is gonna happen to Luke Walton? They left him after a game. They left him, fam. Left him.
They picked him back. I think they made a big deal about them. But...
They picked him back up, but they left the coach because and it's been thrown out there that they're not happy. Magic has brought out that even though he is looking for the progress of Luke Walton, he is not happy with the way the Lakers are playing right now. And we're gonna, from what we thought was a guarantee we'd be in the playoffs, is looking like we may not even be the 8th seed anymore. And yes, LeBron hit a good 3 and everything like that to put the game away. Same with Dwayne Wade. Shout out to Dwayne Wade to beat the Golden State Warriors, which I thought was dope. But we're looking to not even be 8th in the West, y'all. We're not looking to be in the locker, like we're not even looking to be in the playoffs. What are your thoughts, JG?
It's funny because I remember when Luke Walton was the assistant coach on the Warriors, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you might end up being a good coach after all." And then we have some tanky years on the Lakers, and then all of a sudden LeBron comes around, and I think pretty much a lot of people that been watching LeBron over the years, they called it. They were like, "Yo, Luke Walton is gonna get canned." But it even started before LeBron got there. It started with LeVar. LeVar been questioning Luke Walton's coaching, and now it's really being magnified to a larger scale. Now that you have LeBron, who people have been saying for years he's a player and a coach and a GM, he's really acting like it. It's crazy because the dude is the best NBA player right now, and he's had this bad stigma attached to him when it comes to other coaches. He's a great person. I definitely respect his work regimen, but it's just something about everything else when it comes to when he's winning versus when he's losing. It's a totally different LeBron that you see, and it's still a lot of things that we probably don't know that happens behind the scenes in the locker rooms. And yeah, he's always liable to get somebody fired, and I mean, we're never surprised because it's happened multiple times already, at least 3 times. So it's really crazy how, once again, we're just having the same situation. It's just going round and round in a circle. Doesn't matter what team he ends up on. Doesn't matter whether he has a young core, whether he has an old core. This man is toxic, and it's just how it is. So, Luke Walton, if you lose your job, again, nobody should be surprised at it.
Right. What do you think, Siggy?
Well, I already said about LeBron and all that. I mean, like I said, I think that I do think that he's obviously the greatest player in this generation, etc. I think it's not fair to put everything though on Walton. I think the Lakers as a whole, we knew. I mean, when we first saw the signing, we all said at the same time. I don't know why all of a sudden everybody expected them to do really good.
Right.
We said it was going to take a year or two because they're still a young team,
exactly.
And that's the thing that made it so confusing is that everybody knew this, but yet all of a sudden we're talking about trading the whole, core just to get Anthony Davis and stuff like that. It's like, why are you deviating from this plan that y'all had? Y'all told them it was going to be a 3 to 5 year plan, and all of a sudden now it's like, no, must win now. I don't get it. So I don't get the whole, it's Walton's fault. I don't get the whole let's trade the whole team for Davis. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's just a mess. It really is just a mess. It sucks to have to deal with even more controversy and just having to hear from Magic and everything along those lines and collusion and all this BS. Let's talk about something else. The NBA All-Star, colluding at its finest happens, and the NBA can't do a damn thing about it. What do you guys think about the All-Star game and the Celebrity All-Star game and all that? What was your favorite moment, Gigi?
I didn't watch the Celebrity All-Star game, and I did not watch the skills contest. I didn't watch the 3-point contest either. I was just busy, so I couldn't watch it. But I did watch the dunk contest, and I watched the actual All-Star game on Sunday. Dunk contest was lame. And I didn't really see anything interesting about that. So I think that, again, one of the best dunk contests in recent memory was definitely Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. But in that, like, it was just kind of whatever. I heard that the 3-point contest was pretty lit though, and seeing the highlights of that, I thought that was pretty cool. That it literally, like, Steph Curry was like one freaking three away from tying and winning it all, and he ended up blowing it at the end. So that was cool that Joe Harris ended up winning. But the All-Star game, I think the All-Star game was actually pretty cool. Like for Team LeBron to be down like 20, and then he just made a comeback like that.
Came back.
Giannis was playing his ass off. Like, I ain't even gonna lie.
He trying to get the MVP, boy.
Yeah, he was legit upset that he ain't winning, but you got to blame it on your team. Like, Giannis was hitting threes and everything like that. That man, he definitely came to play. And Chris Middleton, he was also so shooting lights out for like that first like 2 quarters, the first half. So that was pretty cool. Like how like everybody thought that Team Giannis was kind of weak, but they ended up coming out swinging and really like putting the brakes on Team LeBron until they came back. So it is what it is, man. But it was actually a pretty entertaining All-Star game, if I say so myself.
What do you think, Siggy?
Oh, it was real nice. I was hoping that Team LeBron loses just because I saw those tweets from those one people were like, oh, look, LeBron loses. I was more interested, though, I'll be honest, with the All-Star game. I wish we had a lot of that they had the conversation or mic ups for if they did have any free agent talks, because that was the story, was that LeBron was picked, Anthony Davis picked, Kevin Durant picked, Kyrie Irving, like all the ones that are all talked about as the potential, free agents moving somewhere else or joining him. You know what I mean? So it would have been interesting to have some kind of conversation around their plans, or at least some mic. Somebody had a hype mic for that, but it didn't happen. But still, it was an entertaining game.
Yeah, it was interesting in itself, being able to see all that. I didn't really like the dunk contest. I'm gonna be real with you. I preferred more watching like the 3-point shooting contest, like you guys said, and then also just the All-Star game itself. But speaking of NBA All-Star and talking about trades, I know we talked about the possibility of Anthony Davis being on the Lakers, but we saw that just obviously not happen. We talked about with the Dallas Mavericks and the Knicks and everything. Siggy, what was your favorite trade so far after the deadline? What did you enjoy seeing afterwards that we didn't get to talk about?
My favorite trade still is gonna be my Knicks trade.
Really? You think now after the deadline, do you think it's worth it?
Yes, I definitely do, because we freed ourselves up for so much money. 2 max contracts we can get out of it. That's huge, especially in this free agent era coming up, or this free agent period coming up. Another thing was the players we got in return, like Dennis Smith and all that. These are young talent that we can actually build around too.
Right, and they were saying the fact that you guys have a young core, and it's like you guys are gonna fuck around and get yourself out of the fact of getting Zion in the lottery. You guys keep winning. Do you believe that?
I really do think we might be able to get Zion. I do. The thing is, though, the Knicks all of a sudden these last 3 days have been winning, and that's exactly why I said it. The Phoenix Suns obviously have the better chance. I think as long as the Knicks finish in the top 2 or bottom 2, I think there's a fair shot, because we've seen some teams do that. But man, I really don't want them winning anymore. I want the tank mode.
But that's wild. They say
and I'd rather have the possibilities. That's the reason why I like the trade so much. Just to go back to real quick, that if they have the number 1 overall pick when it comes down to it in June, number 1 overall, which could be Zion, and 2 max contracts to offer free agents, there's just no way, being New York, that I can't imagine a scenario where it would be 2 top free agents, whether it's Durant. I mean, the dream scenario would be Durant and, let's say, Kyrie with Zion. That'd just be just awesome. But even if it comes down to or Durant maybe and somebody else, everybody's saying like Tobias Harris, etc. I wouldn't even mind that, as long as maybe we could even flip like a Zion, or that number 1 overall for somebody like AD, since he's, now has the Knicks on his list that he wants to sign, etc. I wouldn't even mind that. So, I mean, there's just so much that we could play with if we get the number 1 pick. But if we don't get the number 1, I'm gonna have to be happy with RJ Barrett, which isn't that bad of a deal either. But hopefully we get the 2, 1 or 2.
Okay, true. What about you, JG? Any trades you were interested in or anything along those lines that from the trades that happened after the deadline?
Yeah, I mean, the best trade on paper was definitely that Mavericks and Knicks deal.
Yeah, that's definitely a great one.
Now, Porzingis was healthy. It would have been even more entertaining for the Dallas Mavericks fans and NBA fans, period, to see Luka and Porzingis play together. But I guess we have to wait till next season see what happens with that, if they even keep them. But I think my most favorite trade, which I thought was going to end up messing up the dynamic, was Tobias Harris going to the Sixers, because he's still been playing great. Like Tobias Harris,
balling,
I think he's just that overall great player, because he played decent on the Magic. He played very, very well on the Pistons until he ended up going to the Clippers. So, but I thought that his volume and his usage was going to go down, and it hasn't. Now, keep in mind, I know this week his numbers are going to be a little inflated because Embiid is out for a week, but he's still playing amazing. Like, I think he's taking, I think the biggest loser in this situation has probably Ben Simmons, to be honest. Ben Simmons has actually been playing like crap now, and I got him on my fantasy team, so I'm like, damn, like, he's not getting those big numbers, even though he did get a triple-double tonight, but he hasn't been playing as much, or he hasn't been getting as much usage since Tobias Harris just came on the scene. So I think that's probably the best trade, because the Sixers are like stacked right now. Like, so they can actually make a very, very big run if everybody stays healthy. So we just got to make sure that Embiid comes back swinging. But I think that's my favorite trade.
And you didn't like the Bobby Portis, Jabari Parker trade to the Wizards, and
you really want to talk about Thon Maker.
That wasn't a trade I wanted to talk about. That was just the first trade on the NBA Tracker website that I looked at. But nice try though. But yeah, I mean, there's a few interesting trades and stuff. I mean, the fact that Arthur Porter Jr. is a Bull now is kind of interesting to see. Morris from the Wesley Johnson, who's been in the league for a while now. He used to play at Syracuse, and he was on the Lakers at one point. Is now with the Washington Wizards, and they ended up getting Markieff Morris and a 2023 second round pick. So it's interesting to see that. Got another trade with the Phoenix Suns. And so Tyler Johnson and Wayne Ellington ended up going to the Suns, and Miami Heat got Ryan Anderson. And then, but yeah, the 76ers one definitely was a good one for sure. Absolutely.
I think the most surprising trade, though, which everybody was talking about, just because of like what ended up happening, was the Kings getting Harrison Barnes. And that was while he was playing in the game, and he didn't even know what's afterward, but he like, yo, I'm gonna just keep playing. Because apparently they did tell him like while he was still playing. Yeah, they told him get traded. I was like, damn.
Yeah, there was a story at first or a narrative that everybody said that because even LeBron chimed in about it, that they thought that it wasn't,
said it was messed up.
Yeah,
it is.
He got notified beforehand,
but he just won the ball. He just still won the ball, which is fine.
Because that generally never happens. Like
on the court playing.
Yeah. Generally, every time you see that happen, they always sit out and get ready to go to the next team.
Yep, especially since you're afraid that he'll fail the physical if he gets injured that game. You know what I mean?
But that's wild though that they would do. Like I feel like they're so unprofessional to do it in the middle of a game. Like they announced it in the center. They announced it while this man was playing.
Like I said, that's a big yikes moment. I haven't seen that happen
before. That's so unprofessional, bro. I don't think I like that. I don't like that at all. Regardless if you know about it or not, that still sucks. Wait till after the game. That's just, remember when Cousins ended up getting traded? Y'all remember that? And he was in a press conference or whatever like that.
At least that was after the game. That was
bro. He didn't know. He didn't know. I mean, he was looking like, wait, what?
Yeah, he was like, wait, because he was about to get on the plane and go back to Sacramento. They like, nah.
How you feel about being traded? Wait, what?
He's like, wait, what? Yeah, that was another.
That's another situation. I'm like, that's not cool, bro. That shit is not cool.
It's business, though, man. It's
business. Bro, that's not business. That's not business, bro.
All right, well, say it to the organizations.
I know Chris Paul need to get it. He's still the president, right, of the Players Association.
I think so.
Yeah, Chris Paul.
I think
Yeah.
he is,
Yeah, they need to sit down and get off the banana boat and start fighting the Rajon Rondo and come up with a plan for something like that. But no, it's sure. Go ahead.
Shout out to the Knicks for finally getting rid of Enes Kanter.
Yep, he's gone. I was just about to say that. He's gone. He's out of there.
I was gonna actually bring him up. What's it called? Remember I put in there whenever we were talking about it in the other chat, that name a player that got picked up from a buyout that actually made an impact or got good points. And so far he's been pretty decent. I mean, he stepped in there and actually took over the second unit, not only the backup center role, but actually a main option of the second unit over Turner.
Zach Collins, boy.
So
bye-bye.
When was the last time you saw a player do that though?
It's rare from a buyout.
Yeah, from a buyout.
That's the main thing. I can't really name anybody who got bought out and went to another team and made an immediate impact, because that just doesn't happen. Like, you get traded because you're actually a good player. And I still believe that Enes Kanter is a good player. The niggas just treated him terribly.
Treat him like shit, bro.
They wanted to tank again. So, again, David Fizdale was trying to make sure that all the rookies and all these other players had some value at the end of the day. And that was still messed up, because Enes Kanter, all he wanted to do was play. He doesn't care about tanking. He just wants to play. Yeah. So they treated him wrong, bro. Yo, I don't know what was going on. I definitely told you about that real early, Siggy, because I'm like, what the fuck? How do you not start this man, especially when Porzingis is hurt? How do you not start him? Legit. That man is a double threat every single night. What do you mean you're not going to play him?
Yeah, it's wild.
Put him on the second unit or give him all these do not plays when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. It is. It's interesting to see. So, I mean, it's been some crazy trades, yo. Business, right?
Yeah. Mirotic is he's with the Bucks now, so that was another interesting one. He's healthy now.
That's good. At least he's healthy. I won't call him what Flock calls him, but y'all know the OGs know.
Rodney Hood with the Trailblazers.
Right. There's some
Tyler Johnson and Wayne Ellington are on the Suns now.
Mm-hmm. There's been a few trades, but
in the NBA, I remember a few years ago, the NBA didn't really have like a trade deadline that everybody was excited about. This was one of the more exciting trade deadlines.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In terms of players on it, because all of a sudden everybody.
It's players that people like.
And then on top of it, it's like players are actually wanting to leave, because that was the one thing about their salary structure is players want to stay because they want the bird rights, they want the max contracts, etc. But now it seems like a lot of players are just like, you know what, maybe these aren't as important as I thought.
Right. So we'll see. I mean, there's been a lot of trades, and the NBA season is still going full force. I mean, it's about to be March. You already know. About to start with the NCAA with March Madness, so and prospects getting ready for the league that are going to be potentially going there. So always great. So I think it was time for us to wrap it up. We've been going over for about over an hour or so. So we appreciate everybody for coming through yet another Triple Threat Sports podcast. Appreciate you guys in the comment section of the YouTube. Shout out to all you guys listening to us on your favorite podcast platforms. If you guys would like to continue to support the game Illuminaughty as a whole, why not check out our Patreon? That's patreon.com/GI-updates. Have a whole bunch of awesome tiers. Appreciate you guys for coming through for yet another Triple Threat Sports podcast. It's been Ace of All Trades, Siggy Guns, and UTXJG Don. Stay enlightened, gamers. Peace.